10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Attention in the pits. Attention. No, wait a minute. Competition plus Power Hour starts now. What's up, everybody out there? If you have not done it, please do it for us. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Let us know that you're in here. It is time to yak it up on your favorite show, the Competition Plus Power Hour, brought to you by Weldon High Performance Pump. I am Slam and Sam, one part of the duo here tonight. I have my friend, my brother, my colleague, the co-host of this show, the man, the myth, the legend himself, the Monday morning racer. Lee, what's going on tonight?
Man, Sam, I am looking forward to this show. We later on definitely will be, well, a man surrounded by boys amongst a man, with Larry McBride on here later to talk to him about his career and what he accomplished there at Virginia Motorsports Park. And then the lady in Top Fuel that is turning the narrative on what was supposed to be this most competitive year. And it is competitive, do not get me wrong. And it may very well be the most competitive, but they are establishing a narrative of it might be a force domination year.
Lee, we're going to stop this because last week you told me, wait a minute, I'm not done. So this week, I want to tell you, and we're going to make this public because everyone needs to know, there was something that you said here to me in a private conversation that we're going to air out first. But secondly, and not secondly, I need an apology from you, Lee. I really, at this point, really think that you and especially Drag Racing Central, I think you guys need to apologize because you guys have said that Top Fuel this year has been the most competitive class. But there is one lady that we're going to get the chance to talk to later, and I have an apology for. But she's taking the show. So, Lee, I would like you to bring yourself back on. And to our lovely audience out there, to the people of Competition Plus Power Hour, you and Drag Racing Central, I should see it in the comments popping up here soon. I think I need an apology. We're going to start a little controversy between you and I, just like this bike class that we're going to talk about later, like they've got. But I think it's due time that you apologize publicly.
No.
Wow. It's fine. It's fine, right? It's fine.
Look,
but anyway,
it is impressive. You know, if you remember what I said on the show last Tuesday, that what we were about to go into is going to be a event in which Grubnick, the tuner for Brittany Force, will probably throw down, and we got that. And I think he even used up E1 with the bye, earning that with qualifying number 1, tested what was out there and smoked the tires. But hey, you're going on to the next round either way. And from there on, the lady drove well, the tuner tuned well. And also, by the way, what a great Top Fuel final round between Brittany Force and Steve Torrance. That was impressive.
That's one of those final rounds that's championship final rounds right there for sure. And I mean, Lee, you get the opportunity to watch it live or watch it back on the replay. I mean, just the time increments of what happened there. And just, that statue. Steve Torrance, a guy who has not won a race yet this year, fighting, who's in the contentions of doing it. You have that. Then you have big names like Antron Brown and Justin Ashley going out first rounds. The whole storyline of this weekend of, cloud cover and then now a lot of sun on the track. Just a lot of different elements that these tuners, these crew chiefs are going through and have to deal with on a week in and week out basis. And it's just cool to see right now. We've said it many of times. And like I said, there'll be an apology later, but Grubby's got it going on. you know, their history of qualifying number one has, you know, paid dividends in long runs. But I mean, it's just interesting to see, you know, in Charlotte, you see Steve Torrence go out first round. And then here, a couple of weeks later, now you see him in the final round. So did the Capco boys find something? Did they bring out the, you know, old clutch package? What is changing? And there's so many dynamics to what's going on those cars and what's going on while the tuners are figuring out exactly what to do. So, I mean, the storyline, no matter what, we can go back and forth. Overall, we are having a great year of racing, and we cannot complain. Yes, we can pick our favorites. Yes, we can say one thing. And controversy is the greatest thing, right? I mean, we're sitting here talking about
that and pro stock motorcycle.
I mean, we won't even dive into that yet because I don't even think the ice cream has been in the freezer long enough. I think that it's still watery, so we'll let that sit in the freezer for a little bit later, if you know what I mean. But I mean, all in all, you know what? What I'm happy to see is that we had this race even through the weather conditions, and Virginia was packed.
Yes. Look, you've got to hand it to the NHRA and to VMP. First of all, like you can go see it on my Monday Morning Racer Facebook page and Instagram. Tommy Franklin. We're talking about a champion in drag racing, owner of the PDRA, competitor in Pro Nitrous, owns that facility. Him and his family, his wife, his girls, they were handling parking because so many people were coming in. They needed to be out there, and they were doing it and getting the job done. VMP did a great job. They've stepped it up. They even made improvements from the last time I was there at the PDRA World Finals and worked on the media center and suites, apparently, and some rooms. Great facility. Even before that, it's even better now. It's ran by great people. And look. You know what? You have to give it to the NHRA and VMP. They got everything that was scheduled, as far as the pros, as far as I understand, in. Sunday had great weather, great racing because of it. But even with waiting through the rain, we saw things that were special in performance and saw it with people who you don't usually get to talk about, such as Dale Creasy Jr., Doug Foley. He went out there and he got it done early on. And I've got to say, for anybody out there that, for example, Sam, I saw earlier in the week people saying, postpone the event and move it. One, that shows a lack of understanding of what it takes to get these events set up, accomplished, and ran through. But what an asinine thought to think that. And again, kudos to the NHRA and VMP. I think what the telltale sign Saturday, they got one round in, rain came. They could have called it then. They could say, we're done. We got your money. Go home. But they got that second round in. Now, I understand they had to move other things around to get sportsmen in, and there wasn't the track walk and, as a condensed intro, things of that nature, but it worked out.
No, and I mean, that, like you said, it goes, to this comment too here. NHRA has fought weather all year. I mean, we think about the year that we had and that we're still having. I mean, weather issues are going to be one of those things. And the fact that we have a group of people who hands down want to put on a show for the racers. I mean, yes, I've been at races where you sit there underneath the canopy all day and you're like, come on, man. Just like that cloud that's 2 miles at the end of the track on the other side, you're like, man, if that ray of sunshine could just make it here, we'd be okay. But I mean, even with that though, even with the conditions that we had, the performance on the track, like you said, was phenomenal. I mean, yes. How many new records? I mean, if you look at the ladders, you have Angie Smith setting a record. You have Matt Hagan setting a record. You have Brittany setting a record. I mean, VMP is one of those facilities, and at the hands of the Franklin family and Tyler Crossmill, what they've got going on and what they continue to do to move and evolve that facility. I mean, hands down, you cannot disagree with what they've done, and all their improvements have worked. I mean, even from the media suites, from when, like you said, when we were there in PDRA, and then you go to what they've done with bringing in a professional chef to run their food and beverage area. I mean, the little things add up. The little things pay off in the long run. Then, and we saw that from what it looked like in the stands and from what we saw from the performance on the track. So if you don't understand the way that the cookie crumbles, I can tell you couldn't complain about what you saw coming off of the racing surface.
Yes, definitely. So Kenneth, he's like, no, excuse me, not Kenneth. Let me go back up. Where is it? Longley says, don't be hating on the bikes, Mud. Look, I regularly mention that the bikes should get more attention and not hating on them at all. But there is definitely some controversy. There's definitely some interesting things going on, because y'all wait. Eventually I'll have it out. Maybe you can find it elsewhere. But Matt Smith said some very interesting things in his winners post-race conference with the media, and the pot is going to continue to be stirred, and we are all going to be the beneficiaries of it, because I think we're going to have a fight between Steve Johnson and Matt Smith, not literally, but on the track for the rest of the year. Steve was testing Monday. He stayed. He was testing. A lot of other pro stock motorcycle teams were as well, but Steve was hitting the track again to find a little bit more of an edge. And kudos to Matt Smith. Wow, he just outraced Steve. He did the racer thing. He pulled the Smith book of drag racing. He put it open and was like, we're going to take this from the family know-how and get it done.
Okay. I got to ask. So from when I was watching live, I was doing other things, trying to clean up and organize and whatnot. The double bulb. I don't know, were you were there? Did you see it?
Yes.
The games that are being played, Lee, like
it's not even that. It started in the water box, because apparently, and I was told from another pro stock motorcycle rider, is that everybody knows Steve's routine. He's been out there for so long. I think a lot of people forget Steve's been out there for a long time, and he likes to do things a certain way. And one of them apparently is start first. Well, he didn't get that opportunity. Matt did it. And then Matt went up there and staged first and put all the bulbs on. So, yeah, Matt raced.
I mean, play the game when the game's played. And, hey, if that's the thing, though. You knock a guy off of his routine. Like, I know when I'm drag racing, I'm in my grudge car that's literally beneath me right now in the garage. But I know I have a certain routine. Like, you knock a guy off his routine, that's huge. But the thing is, the gloves have been thrown, right? I mean, both of them have boxing gloves in the pit. I mean, whether we're going to see them or not, who knows? But it's the Ricky Smith came out a little bit in Matt this weekend, and we saw the fight, and that's what it's about. That's what you want to see. You want to see, the rivalry. And I'm glad right now that honestly Pro Stock Motorcycle has that, because it's shining a light on that class that we haven't seen, and they're not getting the respect that they needed, I think. And now everyone's like, what's going to happen next? Is Angie going to say something? Is Angel going to say something about the glitter and grind?
Yes.
the stones, whatever that she's wearing. Like, who's going to be the next person to respond? And I think this week we saw it. Angie went out there and she said, you know what? Hey, I'm going to let you know that this Smith Racing team, we've got some bikes that are coming for you. And, unfortunately, fortunately, not fortunately, Matt and Angie didn't have to race each other, in that if she would have won her round. But then Steve said, you know what? Hey, I'm going to try and throw it at you, Matt. And Matt said, you know what? I'm going to play your game, but I'm going to play it a little bit better, and I'm going to do it on the track with my bike.
Yes, yes. Well, Sam, look, we need to take a break, and we need to bring the insider in. That's Bobby Bennett himself, founder, owner, establisher, shaker, and mover of Competition Plus.
I thought we had Bobby Boucher today.
Oh, maybe we do. I don't know. You could explain that.
Well, Lee, no, I think we should take a break, bring on Bobby Bennett or Bobby Boucher. Who knows which one we're going to get, and we should get this party started.
And this party is all brought to you by Weldon High Performance Pumps. Mr. Bennett.
Yes, it's me, Bobby Boucher.
Hey, it's your daddy, Roberto. I see you was going to go to the NFL.
Yeah. There you go. You sound like a big old choo-choo train.
Okay, guys, alligators are honorary because they got all them teeth and no toothbrush.
There we go. Hey, let's dig into we got some stuff coming up here, some stuff that's been going around. You mentioned the Matt Smith, Steve Johnson rivalry, and as you may have read on Competition Plus, if you want to get news you can trust, that's what you've done. You've read Competition Plus. You'll see that this rivalry between Matt Smith and Steve Johnson, it you know what? Rivalry seems so inadequate. Let's just throw it out there that it's a brewing feud. And I predict before the end of the year, there's going to be some pushing and shoving. Because somebody's going to go too far.
You know, I mean, Matt mentioned it in the press conference after the win. He understands that it helps elevate the class. But he did say, we don't appreciate name calling, and that's how he put it. I'm not sure which one in particular, but hey, Steve has his way and has taken some shots, and it's been very interesting.
Well, some of the words I've heard thrown around was jackwagon and knucklehead. So if it goes, in some places, being called a jackwagon that's a fighting offense. So I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, these guys, what I've come to realize about them is that they truly enjoy not liking one another. That's it. I mean, they just do not like each other. They're not going to sugarcoat it. And if you think any of this is fake, well, you're just kidding yourself. These guys really don't like each other. But, you might have seen some tense moments in the first round of Top Fuel Harley. When John Touched when he beat Ty Tharp in the first round and then got to the other end and got disqualified. Well, we found out what that was all about. Apparently, the parachute deployed on the line. And, those parachutes on those bikes, I got to tell you, I think that makes about as much difference as giving a whale a Tic Tac. It just does. Yeah, you heard it right.
Wow. Okay.
but you know what it is? I mean, with that much down area, the bikes would have got stopped anyway. But this is more or less like a Gary Dencham kind of deal where where they had the parachute malfunction, they fixed it in the pits. Well, this team just removed it, and of course there was none too happy at the finish line when they got word that they've been disqualified. So that's what happened there, in case you were wondering, because everybody was kind of vague about what happened there, and without that being a full-time television category, then you probably would have never known. And stop me if you've heard this one before, but Roger Brogdon's going to take a break from pro stock.
I mean, it's the same as Bo Butner retiring.
Yeah. I mean, this is like Forever Red Tour Part 9, you know. But anyway, he's just business is not doing bad at all. It's doing really good at the roof tech business, and he still wants to be out there racing. But the challenges of having to run the business and stay on the full tour is just not working out well for him. So, from what I understand, he's still going to have that bad to the bone 66 Chevy 2 wagon and comp eliminator at the races.
Which is such a cool hot rod.
Oh, God, man. I'm telling you. The only thing that can make that thing better is if it had a 50-pound flywheel and a Gene Fulton small block in it. So,
and if I'm not mistaken, there's a piece on Competition Plus about his car. Is that not correct?
Yes. We have written about it. And we also have a video of the car, as well as his Competition Plus, Competition Eliminator bonus fund, too. So it's worth, it's a Les Mayhew presentation. And in the next few days, we will have a Les Mayhew from the creative genius of Les Mayhew, I might say. We'll have the final race at Houston Raceway Park for the NHRA. And I've seen some previews of it. And, man, I'm telling you, it's bad to the bone. And we've got another television series coming up, man. We've already got one episode shot and in the can. We're going to have about 2 more episodes in the can, then we're going to turn it loose, and it's probably some of the best work we've done. It's freaking hilarious because it took me twice as long to do this for having to stop and laugh. So if that gives you some kind of idea, it's the lighter side of drag racing, and there's a bit of history in it and everything. So, guys, I think you'll, without, letting the cat out of the bag, I'll just tell you that we got new programming coming, new Legends episode. Dude, been hitting it at 4 a.m., not getting off till about 8 o'clock at night. So,
well, we're looking forward to it, folks. Make sure you are subscribed right here to Competition Plus, the YouTube channel. You'll definitely be able to see that content when it rolls out. And, hey, shout out to Leslie Horn. He says, I second the 50-pound flywheel and Gene Fulton small box. He is the A-Gas winner from Lassiter Mountain and Southeast Gasser Association action. Good to have you watching along, Leslie.
Yeah, he's pretty badass, man. I sit and watch that car. He might not know me, but I know him.
Well, Bobby, you got anything else for us?
That's what I got. I think that was some prime nuggets for you. Got the bed calling my name here. Early 4 a.m. You know us old people. We're early to bed and up early.
Bobby, before you go, I want you to answer this question here. It comes in from.
No, I will not marry you. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Go back to your TikTok and well, Joe. But it says Top Fuel and Funny Cars started the year with a bang. This weekend they ran out of ammo. What do you think about that? What do you think about that?
Ran out of ammo. They slew the track records. What were you looking for? Holy moly! You did notice that the weather, for lack of a better word, sucked butt. I mean, it's like, I don't know what you're looking for, but that it was a very I know that some teams had to go back quite a ways in their tune-up book to find something for Saturday. But look, everybody's entitled to their opinions, but I don't share that one. And I got news for you guys. Brittany Force may be on top right now. Matt Hagan, Robert Height, but we know that this thing changes around in a hurry. And you can be a hero one day and you can be the zero the next 5 races. That's just the way this one rolls.
Definitely. Because, Steve Torrance is not having a bad year. He just hadn't won. I know we're used to seeing that, but he's having a good year still. What
incentive is there to go out and win every race?
To say you did it because we run on pride and energy. That's why. Oh.
Yeah,
no?
okay.
Sorry.
All right. Yeah, I can buy that.
Okay, no. Let's be honest. I mean, drag racing is an ego sport. Is it not?
Yeah. But what's pride and energy going to do when you can't get connecting rods at 3/4 into the season? You guys do realize we can't 3D print connecting rods here. I mean, we've got a serious parts shortage out there.
Oh,
and if the guys aren't running up to snuff, it's probably because they're trying to make it through the season. How many teams out there are just parked because they can't get parts? Can't get parts. I mean, this is it may have been set up under fake pretenses, but the shortage is very real.
Yes, very real. And it is across the board in motorsports, not just drag racing. It is from Hoosier tires to rods at Funny Car Chaos, and even guys, not having enough to run Southeast Gasser Association events. There is a shortage everywhere.
It's not even that. It's fuel too. It's everything. It's fuel, everything. Everything's gone up. And we have a lack of people. We have a lack of people that want to work. I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, let's not get controversy here on the show, but people don't want to go back to work.
Hey, screw them. It's the truth. It's the truth. You can either ignore it or you can face the facts. And Sam, I stand by you 100%. What you said. When you go out of the racetrack at 8 or 8:30, and you go to a fast food restaurant and can't even get anything to eat because they're closed, come on, give me a break. But thank God
there
for
you have
Taco Bell. Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. Taco Bell and
just like they were going out of business.
Taco Bell and a limited selection at McDonald's. So there you go. That's what you get.
Oh geez, but yeah, guys, that's what it is. I mean, this part shortage. I mean, it's not just affecting the little teams. It's got the big teams. I mean, because maybe they're not able to buy connecting rods. Maybe they make their own connecting rods. But have you noticed that raw materials are kind of hard to come by too?
That's right.
So
we're in a bad
I got a special announcement. Bobby told us in the pre-show entertainment room that he's going to be buying a CNC machine. Competition Plus will be producing parts very, very soon. So everyone stay not glued to your seats because I don't want you to sit down that long. Don't hold your breath, but they will be coming from Bobby Bennett himself.
In vocational school and high school, I took metalworking and welding, so I could burn a rod, like nobody's business, but just wasn't where I was meant to go.
Well, Bobby, like always, yes. I mean, hey, that truthful is what truthful is what I was once told by some guy. I don't remember his name, but that's what he said. It didn't really make sense at the time, but it does now. So thanks for coming on here and giving us this platform and letting us yak it up about what is, what isn't, and what is yet to be. Now you go and drink some of that high quality H2O.
I'll drink it in some sweet tea.
See you, Bobby.
See you guys. Thank you.
Lee, always great to have Bobby come on and yak it up with us and, have some fun and speak the truth. I mean, you go out, I know for you and I obviously I'm meal prepping because I'm working out now and getting in better shape than what I thought I was. But so I don't get to go out and enjoy fast food after the show or a milkshake. But I know you and I used to go out and be able to do that. Now, man, the stuff around town, like Bobby said, is closed. So you don't get to enjoy that. I know you're a food connoisseur like myself.
But the tracks have been open. So get to your local track, get to your national event track, and enjoy them. And I have to agree with SCOE here, or SCOE.
That was my next.
Pedal Fest and record runs are bad news to me. Look, I agree. If you looked at the Racing Sunday and are like, man, I don't know what race you were watching, but I watched good drag racing, and I was there all day.
Yeah.
I watched, from Pro Mod, Mountain Motor, the Harley guys, to Pro Stock Motorcycle, to Funny Car, to all of it. It was all good.
Lee, So you mentioned some stuff there. Pedal Fest. What was your most like? How did he get away with that one? In Pedal Fest.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think the one that got away with it is Brittany, and she earned it though because of qualifying number one. But we could have a completely different narrative if there was a 16th qualifier at that event. Now, granted, Grubby knows what was in the other lane, which was nothing. He probably just went out there to try to see what it would do. He got the data, and they went on and win the race. But I think of dodging bullets and putting it that way, I think it's definitely Brittany.
Oh yeah, I think the one for me, and this I hope if he watches this back, and I hope he doesn't take anything from it, but Mike Salinas versus Antron Brown. I mean, if you look at that, and I replayed it a couple of times, they get sideways, they get out of it. Antron's in front, and he's back on it, and then all of a sudden, to me, and I'm no expert, it looks like he got clicked off, and then Salinas goes flying by. I don't know for sure, whatever, but I mean that's what it looked like to me. So I that one was like, hey, like okay, I wasn't expecting that, and I mean it is what it is.
Right.
So that was that one. There's a comment here. Oh, Rushy says he's got a few used rods. I got a couple of pistons.
Yeah.
I got a couple of pistons. I got a couple of rods
down there. They might not
there.
be handing out those parts as much as they used to.
That's what I'm saying. If anybody needs anything, like I said, if I get my foot on it, I got 2 rods down there. I've got probably 4 pistons. I've got a blown up blower belt, so that one doesn't work, but I've got a good one too that'll be hanging up on the wall here soon. So I mean, if anybody needs some parts, I'm in the selling business, if you know what I'm saying right now. But no, all jokes aside. Yeah, I think the Pedal Fest, I think the one that got me the biggest was the Antron Brown and Mike. And like I said, nothing against Mike. He's had a great year. He's doing phenomenal this year. But I think, I thought that Antron was ahead, and I think personally he got clicked off, but I can't say. I'm not in the cockpit. I don't know what happened. Moving on just a little bit more controversy. Lyle Barnett.
We do got Larry in the studio. So
okay. Quick. Lyle Barnett versus Stevie Fast Jackson.
Yes.
The beloved class of mine, my alter ego. What a way to get on social media. And I don't know if you saw Stevie's Facebook post. He's got their heads in different costumes. Man, what a way. But to go, my man Lyle Barnett, to go 007 red. Like, that is, man, you can't even be mad. You can be mad at yourself, but you're like, I was that close.
That close. Or Chris Thorne, 001.
I mean, yeah, I'm like, what? Like, what is going on in my beloved class? But,
yes.
I thought that was great.
Shout out. We got to say, Tyler Miller, congratulations on your first ever NHRA Pro Mod National Event victory.
Dude,
he never won a round until going all the way to winning the race.
That's what I'm saying. He earned that. I mean, to get your first win.
The legend.
Tricky
Ricky Smith.
Tricky Ricky. My name is Ricky. Yeah, man, I'm going to put these 357s in there. You got to go back. If you have not done already, you need to go back and watch that episode where Brett Kepner gives us the best Ricky Smith impersonation that I've heard in my life. Okay. Last controversy, Lee, before we bring on Larry and we move on with this show. You said something, Lee, that was very controversial about someone stepping into a pro mod with a little motor, with just a little baby motor.
Oh, no. Pro stock.
Yeah, pro stock. Sorry, with the baby motor.
Well,
what was that about, man?
Those are not my words. That is taken from a personal post he made that morning. I am using his words, but when you do,
but there was no quote.
Hey, when you do go from 820 something cubic inches down to 500 cubic inches, yeah, that's mountain to mini.
Hey, man, you are kind of like Steve Johnson right now. You're just I hope you can hear that. Just stir in the pot, brother.
Hey,
I saw that.
say this.
There was no quotation. You gave no.
I will say this. I cannot wait for Richard Freeman to bring out the Elite Motorsports Mountain Motor Pro Stock car. He is an old Mountain Motor Pro Stock guy. He did it back in the day in NHRA and competed with those guys. I cannot wait to see Erica Enders in a Mountain Motor Pro Stock or Richard Freeman himself at a NHRA quarter-mile Mountain Motor Pro Stock event. I can't wait to see it. I was actually disappointed it didn't happen at Virginia Motorsports Park.
I'm going to say Brainerd.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. I know people that know people, but I don't know anybody. But I'm just going to say that.
Right.
But man, Lee, we've been yakking it up for over 35 minutes. We have Bobby on. We need to bring on the legend. We need to bring on someone that needs no introduction. We got to bring on a guy that this guy,
look,
to me,
he fits the statement. The man, the myth, the legend. It's that simple.
He's scary. I wouldn't do it. Like, seriously. Like, that's a different kind of living on the edge.
Yes. Yeah.
Some may know him as Larry. We in the drag racing know him. I'm gonna honestly say it, a GOAT. We know him as Spiderman. My son will be proud. I'm about to get to talk to Spiderman himself.
Larry, Spiderman McBride right after the break.
Classic car owners, make your headlights over twice as bright with Holley Retro-Brite LED headlights. A plug-in replacement for those dim halogen seal beams, Retro-Brite maintains that classic look and lasts 6 times longer. Stay safe and click the link below to learn more.
Larry, look, first we bow. We bow before you. Yes, we are boys amongst a man. Dude.
In the great movie of, what is the movie? We were just talking about it before. Wayne's World. We are not worthy. We are not worthy.
Yes. Man, look, congratulations. I know you've been working for so long, and 268.38 miles per hour on 2 wheels.
It's been awesome. I tell you, it was a great reception at NHRA, and for y'all to bring me on the show, I can't say enough. I mean, it's I'm very humbled, and it's been a lot more media than what I'm used to, and I've been doing this for over 40 years, and to be able to come on your show, and I'm honored, absolutely honored. I'm kind of lost for words right now. My old motorcycle's been running pretty good, and been running pretty good for quite a while, and my brother really works hard at it, and my whole crew. I mean, it's kind of like I told him after the run is, I appreciate everything y'all do. I got to enjoy the fun. Y'all had to do all the work.
So, Larry, Michael Clanton mentions here, Larry was riding a bull down the track. Oh, Sam brought out the Spider-Man.
Earlier today, I told my son, I said, man, I get to talk to Spider-Man. He said, Dad, okay, when I watch the show back, can you put Spidey? He's a big Spider-Man fan. So I said, can you put Spidey on the camera with you? So salute.
You're a good man. I sure do appreciate this. It's been an awesome nickname. And, all the kids that was around me at the track that came up, and God, I don't know how many tours I give for children. It was awesome. I'd do anything. I would do it 24/7. I'm a drag racer. I watch them all. I watch Stevie Fast. I love him. I watch, I'm a drag racer, and I like it from the junior dragsters all the way up. I don't care what it is. If you're racing a moped and you're drag racing, I want to watch it. So, and to be able to come to the big show and do it and put on a show for NHRA, and them allowing me to do it was absolutely gratifying. It's so hard to put in words and be talking to you guys when I watch you guys all the time and talking to everybody else, and being able to sit here and talk to you too is I'm very honored to do that.
Well, man, we're honored to have you, and what a amazing accomplishment, and everything you've worked towards. And from what I understand, there's more there, because you had a little bit of a wild ride. It seemed like you were fighting that thing. It was not just straight down the middle.
Right. I had to pedal it out there in the middle a little bit, had to ease out the gas. And that's what happened on Friday night. Went out there and we was a little too aggressive on the clutch flows from what we are used to. The NHRA prep's a little different than what we're used to. I like the NHRA prep better than what people do with our preps. They put too much glue, so sometimes it's really hard for us to get the wheel speed that we need. And there we was able to do it, but was too aggressive out there right before the 330. And we had some, a lot of good friends out there. Bobby Logano, I got, with Capco, and I got Bill Miller with Bill Miller Engineering that helps me. So we're always in constant in touch and talking, and we go out there, we're looking, oh man, what are we going to do? So we should have slowed the flows down before we even made the first run, but we were a little too aggressive. It got out there. I had to grab the brake and I pedaled and I shut off the throttle a little bit too much. And these things don't really like to be pedaled, as y'all know. And I got off the throttle a little bit too much and held the brake and got back into it. Of course, then it, killed the motor, broke the drive belt. Drive belt tried to beat Larry up. So we just come back and, put a new engine in it. And we went over some stuff with, Bill Miller, Bob Logano, and them over on the computer. And we decided we need to slow these clutch flows down. And so we slowed the clutch flows down. And if we'd have probably slowed them down a little bit more, according to my computer guy, John Dixon, that does all of my computer stuff, he said, Larry, if we had slowed that down a little bit more, he said, you would probably run a 48, 49, at probably somewhere around 272. So that's easy to say, hard to do. So we'll see the next time what happens.
Wow.
So with a run like that, I mean, we all saw it. We're all taking it in. But going through that run, and as you just talked about, but leaning over that bike and trying to put that weight to get back over, what in that moment, like I would never do it. I don't know if Lee wants to try, but what does that feel like when you know that I need to throw this weight in this direction to get this bike away from that center line?
Well, what you have to do is the way I ride is, you make sure you got to have your feet on the pegs to drive the motorcycle. And on that particular run, when it got out there, it was kind of going a little crazy, and going towards the center line, you got to push on the right foot peg, you got to lean left. And with our bikes, the bike's 1,000 pounds, you really got to manhandle it. You really got to jerk it hard to get it back. And, that's what we did. We just did what we had to do. And, I've been doing this now for a little over 40 years. I'll be 65 years old in January. So to be able to keep doing this at this age is awesome. I just try to keep myself in good shape. I heard you talking about you're always on a meal prep deal. I just don't eat. No, it's you got to keep yourself in shape and keep yourself mentally in shape, and it'll all come to you, and believe in the good Lord and let him help you through this deal, because sometimes you need a little help.
Need all the help you can get when you're doing 268 on two wheels at a quarter mile. And Larry, when we're talking about your motorcycle, we're not talking about Top Fuel Harley. You have a different setup. Can you explain to us what your bike is, possibly in comparison to those guys that we may be more familiar with?
Right. Really, the only thing that we really have a lot in common with on the Harleys is we have both got two wheels. And we run nitromethane. My bike is more, you would have to compare my bike more with a Top Fuel car, funny car, the way we run the thing. I'm supercharged. And we know Jay Turner's has a supercharged Harley. But, I'm supercharged, and I run basically all the same controls as a Top Fuel car. You know, we like our clutches are like theirs. We just actually have downsized the clutches, and I was fortunate enough back in the day, to be able to have Blaine Johnson's car here. I'm good friends with Alan Johnson and Keith Adams, which I don't know if y'all know Keith, but Kivo was a longtime crew member of Alan Johnson, and lost his life a couple of years ago now. But he's a good friend of mine, lived here in town, so they used to keep the Winston car and the Travers car at my shop here when they was on the East Coast. So we was able to get a lot of clutch technology, and my brother's a tool and die maker by trade and just an unbelievable machinist. I don't know if y'all even got the chance to come over and see the bike or not, but to see the machine work that my brother does, and we have no CNC machines. Everything we have is all manual machines. So our stuff, we still run, a clutch cannon like Top Fuel cars. Our clutch is kind of like a Top Fuel car and funny car. The Harleys are a little different. They're injected. They're big, huge motors. My motor's 93 cubic inch, 1,511 cc's. Most of the Harleys out there are, 200 cubic inches plus. You got Jay Turner's new bike, his supercharged bike. I think it's 155 or 6 cubic inches. They're similar but different at the same time. They turn, they're only turning about 5,000 RPM in the quarter mile. I'm turning my stuff 11,000 RPM.
All right, Lee. I think we saw the comment from Keith.
Yes.
Steve is photo bombing in the background. We see Steve back there. He's kind of moving away. Tell Steve to come on.
He's trying to hide now.
He's trying to hide now. Tell him just to come on. It's a party. Tell him to come in there. We see him. Tell him to come on.
You got to come in. I give up. He give up.
There you go.
He was back there.
Tell him
to. He didn't want to.
Tell him to bring it.
He didn't want to
bring a chair. No, tell him to bring a chair. Sit down and talk.
He is awesome. He's still working. The guy's he was unloading motors just now. So, and he just kept coming up here to see the deal, and that's one awesome guy right there.
Well, hey, Steve, look, congratulations to you two. You're definitely a part of it, and don't hang back there. You can be up here, man. And look, where are y'all broadcasting from? What is Larry McBride's hometown? Because from what I understand, VMP was somewhat of a home race.
It's a home race, 105 miles. We're still at the shop here in Newport News, Virginia. I actually live in a little town called Poquoson, Virginia, which is only about 10 miles from here. But from my shop to VMP is 105 miles. So I saved a lot on diesel fuel this weekend, and it was just awesome to be able to come up there. That NHRA, allowed us. This is the deal we started working on in 2020, January of 2020. I flew out and met with NHRA, and then of course the pandemic hit and things just kind of went the other direction. And then in 2021, I ended up with having knee surgery, so I had to have a knee replacement, my left knee. And then after that, 5 weeks later, I had an appendectomy, and then I had a kidney infection, and so it was been I missed like 17 weeks of work. So unfortunately, in 2021, I didn't get to race at all. Didn't even get to ride my motorcycle, which was about to kill me. So in February, we decided, you know what, we got to go test. So we went down with Jay Turner and all the Harley guys. Jay called me and invited me to come down with them. So we went down to West Palm Beach and spent 3 days. And we tested. We had an unbelievable test session. Load up, get ready for the very last pass. We've only been making 8 mile shots, shutting it off and coming back and checking everything. So we had a lot of new parts, a lot of new technology on it we wanted to check out. And on the last pass, I carried it a little bit too far and went 572, 220, and said, "Oh Lord, we got something." So that's what we did. Steve put a new intake manifold on the bike, and this intake manifold that a friend of mine over in Australia, Chris Matheson, which is a top fuel racer over there, his crew chief, which is a very smart man, made him one, and they made me one and sent it to me and said, "Hey, Larry, you need to try this." He said, "This thing is badass." So we put it on, and we instantly saw major gains just by cranking the bike up here at the shop. So we knew we were on something, and we're going to continue to work on it, and hopefully we get back to the NHRA to do some more stuff. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of bikes out there like my bike, like the Harley guys do. So.
All right. So, I got to ask, you're a bike guy, you understand the class and what's going on. What we see right now in pro stock motorcycle, and you see the rivalry and everything like that. What do you take from that?
We might have lost them. I think they froze. So, Larry,
I don't think they froze, Lee. I think they just blew the record, and they don't, the bandwidth.
They're going faster than us, right? Yeah,
exactly.
We actually have froze, and
we've slowed down.
Well, yes,
they are.
Yes.
See,
Larry, if you can hear us, you can jump back on. Do that, and we'll see what transpires. But Sam, what a momentous historical event for Larry to accomplish what he did for two wheels and bringing all that to the limelight, that there is this type of motorcycle, and you have him setting and establishing a record. And look, what wisdom from the NHRA to say, yeah, come do it at our national event.
Very true. And it's not, like you said, not too far from his house. So they probably brought in a few more that are familiar with his racing and what he's got going on. But also, Lee, you've just opened, I'm going to use this analogy right here, the pop top, right? We just went like that. A lot of people saying, when can we see them bikes again? Like, you probably made 5 fans that probably weren't going to come to a race. And they're like, dude, this dude named Spiderman that's local, we got to go and see him, right? Like, we got to go. So now they're like, man, I saw 10,000 horsepower. I saw 11,000 horsepower. Man, I saw some big pro mod cars. I saw some pro stock cars. Man, then I saw these bikes, these two guys that ate broccoli and had glitter and grindstones and don't like each other.
Yeah.
And then after that, we had this dude named Spiderman get on his bike, and he blew the scoreboards off. I'm hooked. Like, NHRA, I got to say this. You guys put on a show this weekend that made 200, 300 more fans. Even though the weather conditions weren't perfect, you still made fans. You set records. People like records. Because now someone can go home and say, hey, man, I was at that race where this guy, and this girl, they all set records. And then some dude named Spiderman, Spidey, as my son would call him, he set another record. And man, was that bike fast? It was cool.
Yes.
It had Spiderman. It had Spiderman on it.
Right.
Spiderman was riding the bike.
And we got him back. So we'll bring Larry back on. Hey, live stuff happens.
Hey, we had a power glitch here at the shop, man. Shut us right off.
Oh man.
So we have no clue what happened. Everything came back on. We're trying to get everything back up. Sorry about that, guys.
Oh man, it's good. It's good.
No, I paid my power bill. I swear I paid my power bill. I know I did.
So Steve, back there. Look, man, have you ever been on one of these type of bikes, or do you think Larry's crazy?
No, I only build them. I won't ride them.
Smart. That is a smart man right there. You know what? Cheers to him. Cheers to him.
Well, as a kid, when I was coming up as a kid, Steve used to build all kinds of go karts, different things, and my older brother Lamar, I was the test pilot on everything. From the stilts he built, I mean, these stilts that would be 12 foot tall to getting out of the barn. Hey, him and Larry, try these first, man. So, Steve's always done all of my work. Like I say, even when I was back motocrossing, Steve did all of my stuff. I mean, he's an incredible person that don't get enough recognition. I can tell you that right now because he works hours that, as y'all know, all racers, if you're going to be up on the top, you better work. I mean, we ain't got time for Disney World. Okay, you got to work. If you want to race, you want to win, you got to work.
That's right. Absolutely.
And so, like I was asking, you said you're a fan of all racing. What you see right now in pro stock motorcycle with Steve Johnson and Matt Smith and the controversy and the going. So what?
It's great. It's great. And I tell you, look what Matt did the other day. Just look what he did. I mean, he goes up for what I think I was up on the starting line. He double bubbed him. Mm-hmm. And then killed him on the tree. I think Steve went a 78, I believe, and Matt went a 80 and change, and took the Wally home. So in pro stock motorcycle right now is real good. It's real good because I think the world of Matt and Angie, and I think Steve Johnson's doing a great job. I like him. He's a great guy. He does things a little different than other people, but he will definitely stir the pot. And, it's kind of cool when. Angie's last name, her maiden name was McBride. And back when she used to race as Angie McBride, I used to get all these calls all the time. Boy, your daughter sure has done good this weekend. and I'd say, oh, yes, she did great. Well, she'd get calls, and I'll talk to your dad and all that. And, God bless her father passed away, but she'd always treated me like that. So she calls me her race dad. So it's kind of cool, and I like Steve Johnson. I like what he's doing right now because he's a badass. I mean, he's just all you can say is he's a badass right now. And Matt Smith is a very savvy racer, and I wonder where he gets that from.
Right.
I mean, he knows all the tricks. I mean, we might end up having to start calling him Tricky Matt. I mean, because he is a copy of his daddy. I mean, and what he does and how he does things. And they're awesome racers. They build all their own stuff. He builds his own horsepower. I mean, he's I can't really say enough for him in the pro stock bike class. I mean, I love it. I mean, all of it. I mean, it's and what's going on in that class is the best thing that could happen to it.
Yes.
Sometimes you need a little controversy. We need to make it like a WWE deal where you got controversy. I mean, it's controversy is good, I mean, it ain't bad to be talking bad about people. I'm not saying be mean to people, but controversy is good. So no different than football. This guy's a Redskin fan, or I guess we're not supposed to say that no more, are we? But I still do. So because my wife's a Redskin fan, so I have to say it or I could get hit.
No, see, now we have to ask those questions like when you go to the doctor, do you feel safe at home? Is everything okay? Like, I mean, you can't say that kind of stuff publicly because someone's going to ask,
Well, I tell you, my wife weighs 90 pounds, and I'm not going to mess with her, okay? Because her punch could be strong. So it's an awesome – I just love what's going on right now. Not only do I love what's going on in Top Fuel Car, Funny Car. I think we got a great thing going right now. I mean, some of the best drag racing that I've seen. I mean, Top Fuel Car is almost like pro stock car. I mean, they're running that close. And Funny Car, I mean, it's just an unbelievable thing that we're seeing right now. And, I'm a major fan of racing. Steve and I, we're here working on Saturdays and Sundays and things like that. We have 2 TVs in the shop, so we don't miss anything. If we're in one part of the shop, we can at least see it. If we're in the other part of the shop, we can see it. I just don't like to miss anything. And that's right down to the sportsman guys, because I love the sportsman racing. I mean, to see what them guys do and the lights they cut. And, I mean, and you try to learn from that. And I, at my age, I'm still trying to learn and see what these guys do. And And what you guys do for us in drag racing is like over the top. I mean, sometimes I don't understand how y'all do what y'all do, and I appreciate y'all as much as y'all appreciate the drag racing.
Well, we appreciate
thank you.
that. Thank you. Appreciate that. Larry, look, my last question for you. We've got Brittany in the green room waiting in the wings. Is the Spider-Man theme? Why and how?
Well, it's a really short story. It don't take long. 1980, Indianapolis U.S. Nationals, back when we were a class with Top Fuel. I like that. Anyway, and the way I kind of move around on my motorcycle and drive it, and an announcer, and I can't remember who the announcer was, but it was back in the Steve Evans days, and he started calling me Spider-Man. And one of my crew guys, Roland Stewart's dad, he started calling me Spidey. So in our little world, next thing I know, my nickname's Spider-Man, and the next thing you know, it just carried on and on and on. And then, I went the similar to the Spider-Man theme. I couldn't go 100% because Marvel wasn't real happy when they first found out what was going on. But I do a lot of things a little different, in the Spider-Man deal. But I'm so happy that I'm able to help. I'm just going to change up to be able to bring the kids. It's so gratifying for the kids to come up to you and look up to you, to be able to take a young man, a young little girl, and take them through the pits, and they're amazed. Because I like to give them tours of the trailer, and I like to tour the bike, and when a little girl or a little boy walks up and Spider-Man, Spider-Man, and they jump right into your arms. I mean, what? How can you get any better than that?
That's cool, man. That's cool. And Marvel should call you and get you in on a movie because you're an actual superhero at 268 miles per hour on a two-wheel machine. That's just
well,
insane.
You're getting ready to talk to a superhero right now.
Yes,
Brittany,
true.
You're going to talk to Brittany. That's a superhero right now. Yeah. And her crew chief, I'm extremely good friends with Grubby. Grubby came down to the trailer. He looked at a lot of stuff of ours. I mean, I've known Grubby. We go back 25 years, 30 years. Back when he was with the McGee guys, the old 4-valve deal, that when Grubby was driving for them, he was not only was he driving the car, he was working on the car. And I met him through Elmer Track. And he used to drive his car, have his trailer and all at Elmer's house, working outside in 100-degree weather when they was running that 4-valve deal. So I go back and so you're getting, hey, I'm just a motorcycle guy. You're getting ready to talk to a real drag racer right now. She is unbelievable. Love her to death. I'm a major fan of hers. And I just want to say congratulations. Hope she's listening. Congratulations to her because she did a wonderful job.
Yes. From one Spidey to another Spidey. Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Steve. Y'all keep up the good work.
Okay. Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Lee.
Wow.
Lee, I'm nervous. I'm nervous, Lee. I'm getting nervous. I'm nervous, man. I'm nervous.
Okay. All right. Well, we need to take a break.
Yes, we need to take a break.
And right after that, the one and only Brittany Force.
In the race for quality, there is no finish line. Jerry Bickle Race Cars is a one-stop chassis shop for drag racing performance parts and race components. For over 50 years, Jerry Bickle Race Cars has been an essential part of racers' plans for building world champion race cars. Our parts department is stocked with every part a racer might need. Log on to jerrybickle.com for more information. We build anything with doors. jerrybickle.com.
Miss Brittany Force, thank you and welcome to the Competition Plus Power Hour.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Of course. Hey, I got to say this first and foremost, Brittany, I'm sorry. Last year, I think I was a little too hard on you, given my personal opinion, so I want to say I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Get that.
Let's fill me in.
All right, so we can get that out of the way. But Lee, Lee's been saying that Top Fuel this year has been the most competitive class. But this weekend, he said something, and I think it's time to come cleanly. What'd you say?
Well, this lady on the screen, and David Grubnick are turning that narrative to like a forced domination in Top Fuel. They're certainly glad about it, and it's been cool to watch. Whatever you all have figured out from your driving and the tuning, it is phenomenal.
Thank you very much. We're off to just an incredible season, the strongest season I've started with. If we look back at last season, we didn't get our first win until halfway through the season in Topeka when we doubled up with my dad. So to already have 3 wins under our belt, it's just pretty incredible. And I have to give it up to David Grubnick and all my guys. They are incredible. And Dave, he shoots for the stars always.
Yeah, when you mentioned last year to this year, I did a little stat digging, which is dangerous for me, so it may not be accurate. But so far this year, 15 round wins total in the first 7 races with 3 event wins. Your worst light, since lights have been an issue and people want to talk about it, has been a 132, but the best has been a 041. And though I didn't have the time for the math, when I look at like the average, you're sitting at like a 060 something average, I think, roughly, maybe a 070. Go back to last year, first 7 races, only 8 round wins. The worst light was a 273. 047 was the best one, but that average was much higher. Girl, whatever you found, you put the work in and you are getting it done. And I know you mentioned like you don't know what everybody else is doing to make these, mythological 030 lights. Like I don't get it either, but you are being consistent and you're turning on the win light.
Thank you. That's one of the biggest things, talking with my crew chiefs over the last few years, they say, if you could just give us consistent lights, we should be fine. We will turn win lights on. And it is tougher than it looks. I will tell you that. I did everything I could last season, and it seemed to make me worse almost. So coming in this season, it's kind of just I have a different mindset. It's, again, teaming up with my guys and going in with the game plan. But really, it's as crazy as it sounds, it's not trying so hard. Going up there, and you don't have to think about what you have to do. You just got to do it. You have to just figure it out. And I think I was trying too hard last season, and it didn't seem to help me at all.
We've talked about this theme this whole show of, racers playing this game and having this way of doing things. Is there a certain way when you're in your car that you like to do things where you were focused on it last year and then this year you're like, you know what, I'm just going to go with the flow? Or is there still a routine that you like to get in?
Are you talking routine as in staging or going into race day?
Yes, I would say after the burnout and going into staging.
I do have a routine. But the thing is with routine, you become predictable. So you got to change it up here and there. I go in with a plan. It doesn't always fall that way. Sometimes depending on who you're running in the lane next to, that could change your routine. So I try not to have too much of a routine in a sense, because it can screw you up. If you go up there planning to, whether you want to pull in first or pull in last and it doesn't work that way, then you're suddenly thinking, this isn't what I planned for. And the problem is you're thinking about that, not about cutting a light and stepping on that throttle pedal.
Speaking of routine, at the top end with the interview with Amanda Busick, you mentioned your fellow competitor, Steve Torrance. And, some were like, oh, she threw some shade. You just were honest. Well, that's how he does what he does. He's a great competitor. So who are some competitors out there in your mind that routine-wise may do some strange things and may do some interesting things? And it's like, why'd they do that?
In the past, it's Steve's one of them, and he has every right to. Everybody plays games out there when they want to. You see it way more in funny car, I believe, but everyone does their own thing, and that's their own right. You just have to know going into it and be prepared for it. I'm not going to sit here and pinpoint drivers, but I've never had a problem with it. I try not to let it affect me. Whether someone is playing a game in the lane next to you, you can't let it bother you. So I try not to focus on that.
So, and then, looking at it, doubling up with the JFR car on the weekend. I mean, how significant is that to you guys and to the program that your father has built, and what you guys are continuing the legacy of doing with John Force Racing?
Last weekend was pretty cool. We haven't raced in Virginia since 2019, so we've been away from that track for a couple years, and to be able to return and get both of our cars in a winner circle top field funny car, pretty impressive for John Force Racing. And the one thing with John Force Racing is if one of our teams goes out early, you will see every single one of those guys helping another team that's still in the run for it. We're all one team. We take our wins together and our losses together, but just to be able to get Robert and I in that winner circle was huge for us. To be able to double up this early on in the season, it was a big event. It was a big win, and it was also a first flavor pack win for John Force Racing and myself. We've won in the monster car, but we've never won in the flavor pack car. So that was a huge, very special win for us.
Yes, and when you mentioned that, I was honestly kind of shocked. Y'all are so successful. It's like you hadn't won in the yellow machine, really? And get it done. What was the phone call like? You said that y'all would call the leadership over there at Flavar Pack. So how'd they take it? How'd they receive it? Did they give the company a day off, or what happened?
Yeah, they were super excited. I mean, after every win, typically after most weekends, I call my bosses on both sides and tell them how we did, whether it was not a good weekend or hopefully a great weekend. And they ask, what car were you in? What were you in, the monster car or the flavor pack car? But at the end of the day, they always say, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what car you're in. We're all together on this thing. We're both on that car. So to have support like that in my corner is pretty awesome. But still, at the end of the day, we needed to get that flavor pack car in the winner circle. So we finally accomplished it. It took us, we tried last season, but our win landed on a monster car. And then our two, the beginning of this season, were also monsters. So we finally got flavor pack in the winner circle, and excited to do it. Everyone over at Flavor Pack was super pumped, excited, as were we.
So at this point in the season, you've kind of taken the shine out of some people's, or the wind out of some people's sail, per se. Do you feel like there's a target on your back now? I mean, you've gone out there, you've won 3 of them now. Do you feel like everybody's like, okay, what are they going to do next, or what do we need to do to step our program up?
I think so, a little bit. And again, I have to give that up to David Grubnick, because he comes out and puts us in the number 1 spot, running a 65, and then running consistent on race day. He's impressive what he could pull off, what we could do. But I think coming into this season, I've said this is going to be. I thought coming into this season, this is going to be the toughest season yet. I have my teammate Austin Prock back in there. Excited to have him on board, but man, he is a competitor when you have him in the lane next to you. Tony Schumacher's back, Tony Stewart Racing. There's a whole lot of shifts going on in Top Fuel, and coming into the season, I will say right now, this will be my toughest season yet. We're in a good position, and we're going to keep fighting. The thing is, though, we have a long season ahead of us. We're only getting started, so we are on this high right now, but we need to make sure that we focus on, each weekend individually, because we have a lot of races left still.
Well, Sean Cahoot has got a question that I was going to lean into myself. It says, how much has it helped having a former driver as a crew chief? Has that relationship helped you as a driver? David Grubnick definitely being successful in the driver's seat himself. And to that, I've also got to ask, are there just times where Grubby comes up to you and like, all right, Brittany, this is going to be a ride. Hang on.
Yeah, it's been cool. I've worked with a lot of different crew chiefs, and working with David Grubnick, it's completely different. He used to drive one of these Top Fuel dragsters, so he knows everything that comes with it. He knows when I come back and I'm trying to explain a run, He gets it. He's been there. He knows exactly what I'm feeling. And he also knows the weight that we carry, the pressure that we have, going into race day, or your sponsor standing there on the starting line during first round, whatever it is, he's been there, he's done it before. So to be able to communicate with him on that level, I think that's something very special that we have. And I think I feel like it makes me a better driver. It helps me, climbing into that race car weekend after weekend. I forgot what your follow-up question was.
Oh, just the interaction. Does he ever, how do y'all interact with, look, you are like the fastest and quickest car out there. It is absolutely insane what Grubnick tuning wise and you driving wise gets done. I mean, are there any moments you're just like, how fast is it going to be?
No, that's what absolutely. Second round of Virginia. So first round we came out and smoked the tires, and instantly it was just this gut ache going into second round. That people were, it was a pedal fest. People were trying to pedal their car to get it down there, and we didn't get it down there first round. So I just thought, oh man, this is going to be ugly. And this thing just went straight down the racetrack, smooth, perfect run. I think around a 78, and I came back from the run and I go up in my crew chief's lounge and we, talk about the run before going to the next one. And I'm like, nice job. That was freaking awesome. Especially, coming back from first round, that's tough to do because all our qualifying runs were in the evening in those cooler conditions. And now it's hot, 125-degree racetrack. And now you have to completely tune for that. And so to be able to pull off that run I was excited about it. He's like, well, we could have done better. And then he walked off. And I'm like, Grubnick, come on. So he's a tough one. He's a tough one for sure. But yes, he will tell me before we come over, he'll lean in. He always has his headphones on. And our track guy, Lanny McLizzy's always in there screaming and yelling, and other people are coming in. So he forgets he has his headphones on, and he comes over thinking he's whispering to me, but he's usually shouting at me. We're really going to push it. I'm like, bring your voice down. Oh, and he pulls it off. He's like, oh, can anybody hear me? I'm like, no, but you're very loud. And he pulls his earphones off and he's like, okay, we're going to push it. Hang on tight, girl. So he always has his way of letting me know. I'm like, oh, dear. Oh, I don't even know what this is going to be, but it's going to be a killer run. And, he always matches that. Whatever he comes up and tells me, he typically delivers.
And that's awesome. And, that has to bring in confidence. But you, as a female driver in this, I always like to ask this question. As a female driver in this sport, what do you think we can do as media to help promote and get more females into the sport and involved in it so it's not this, per se, male-dominant activity?
Yeah,
hobby.
There are more stuff like this. Finding new outlets where we're out here doing podcasts, talking, or, an article, anywhere where you could reach a different group of fans that don't already know about drag racing. That's really where we need to go, where we need to take it, just to pull in, young kids that, hey, I don't even know what drag racing is. And, that they were ever to show up, I'm sure they'd be hooked. But really female involvement has really come a long way just in the, in my years out there. It's not just as female drivers in a male-dominated sport, but there's girls working on these cars in the pits next to us. Even females in the marketing and PR department. There's definitely more females coming into it. I'm a big supporter of the girls out there. I always cheer them on. So it's cool to see more ladies coming into the sport.
And speaking of ladies in PR, you've got one of the best ones out there, Miss Sarah Slaughter. She does a great job, and I've got to make sure and connect with her, but may very well have her on my show Thursday night. I like to talk to crew people and PR people and just everybody in drag racing, so may very well have her on Thursday night. Look, last question for you tonight. Your dad, legend in the sport, obviously, but you see him, I'm sure, as dad. It's not just legend. It's different than how we view him. What is your earliest memory of drag racing and being involved in this crazy circus that is NHRA Camping World Drag Racing?
There's definitely a lot of them. Some of my youngest memories being out there. I remember being in, my sisters and I would ride in the tow car. And so we climbed back in the back seat, and Austin Coyle would be driving the tow car. And I remember pulling up for final round. And when we got in that tow car, we weren't allowed to make a sound. It was, you shut your mouth, you don't make a sound, or we're throwing you out of here. So we'd be in there, and my sisters and I were very superstitious. We'd cross our fingers, cross our arms, cross our legs, everything would be crossed. And it was just good luck, good luck. Watching my dad, he was driving a Castro car, and watching him out the window of our tow car. And, when they win, I remember pulling up into the winner's circle. Actually, it was Indy. I remember it was the U.S. Nationals. They won. It was the Big Bud Shootout. And my mom, all my sisters were all there celebrating. And we had We Are the Champions on the radio in the car, and they cranked it up. So that's probably one of my earlier ones. Another one is actually out in Pomona. I was so little that I had a blue teddy bear with me. And the funny thing is, I still have that teddy bear till this day. But I would bring it up every single round into the suite. We were watching from the suite in Pomona. And I'd bring it up every single round. And I told my dad, my bear's good luck. I brought my teddy bear this weekend. He's good luck. And somehow on the final round, I left the teddy bear back in the pit area. And my dad from the window on the starting line before climbing in said, do you have the bear? And I said no from the window. And he ran back and got the teddy bear and ended up winning the race. So I mean, if I'm carrying teddy bear around, I'm pretty little. I can't pinpoint how old I was, but I grew up at those racetracks. My sisters and I, it was home to us being out there. And my dad's crew, they were family. They were big brothers to all of us girls. So we really grew up out there. Absolutely love the sport. NHRA drag racing, there's nothing better than it. And, we've looking forward to this season. I've been out there my whole life, and I'm really feeling confident about this season. I think it's going to be one of our best ones yet.
You definitely should feel confident, Brittany. Thank you for your time, and many of the people watching along have also said thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, final question here before we let you go. If there was a 4-wide horse race, who would win?
Okay, how fair are we talking? Are we talking 3 funny cars and a top fuel car?
However,
I like how she stacked that lightly.
I'm gonna say the top fuel car. I got grubby.
No, I mean we're gonna make it as fair as possible, but who's gonna win? You guys gonna let Dad win just for good old time's sake, or
we're gonna run it till the end? We're gonna hang our foot in that throttle to that finish line. I'm gonna bank on myself. I wouldn't vote against me, but to have Courtney and Ashley, my dad, that'd be pretty crazy. That'd be unheard of.
I think
against my dad once though. It was out in West Palm. I want to say it was West Palm Beach. This was like in 2013 or 14, and I pulled up next to him, and it was just an exhibition race, and they ran us side by side. I remember I was in the left lane, and he was in the right lane, and I remember it was very surreal because I grew up watching him from the stands my whole life. And to be in my car and to look over and see his car, I was like, holy shit, I'm running my dad right now. And we smoked the tires. We didn't even go past the Christmas tree, and he freaking blazed down there to the finish line and turned a win light on. I'm like, oh, thanks, Dad.
man, you got John Forced like everybody else in funny cars.
Exactly.
So, Brittany, look, thank you. It's been definitely an enjoyable time. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Yes, have a great.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a fast-paced recap of NHRA's return to Virginia Motorsports Park for the 2022 NHRA Virginia Nationals, brought to you by Competition Plus. In Top Fuel Eliminator, just like her father a few weeks ago in Charlotte, Brittany Force will put together a dominating performance in Virginia, qualifying number 1 with track record ETN speeds and parlaying that into 4 win lights on Sunday, outlasting rival Steve Torrence in the final round to capture a 3rd win of the year and 14th of her career and extend her points lead in the process. In Pro Stock Motorcycle, reigning world champion Matt Smith would take a page out of his father Tricky Ricky Smith's textbook in the final round as he would defeat arch-rival Steve Johnson on a hole shot, denying Steve his 3rd victory in a row as Matt Smith would pick up his 1st win of the year, 33rd of his career, and 1st on a Suzuki. And finally, in Fuel Funny Car, Robert Height from the number 10 qualifying position will bounce back and set low ET in every round of competition on Sunday, including topping #1 qualifier Matt Hagan in the final round to secure his 3rd win of the year and 56 of his career. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a special fast-paced recap of the 2022 NHRA Virginia Nationals from Virginia Motorsports Park, brought to you by Competition Plus.
Darren Williams Jr., American Hot Rod Entertainment, doing a fine job on the Competition Plus pieces. He just did that one, narrating it. And what a great weekend of NHRA drag racing it was, Sam. And wow, what a great show we have had tonight. Larry Spiderman McBride, the baddest man on the planet, and Brittany Force, who is just changing and shifting the narrative on the story of Top Fuel. I wonder, is the blue teddy bear at the track again or something? What's going on?
I guarantee you it's in the trailer. Guarantee it's in the trailer. But
hey,
like
that
I
was
said,
a cool story though. I like that. That was a great story.
Lee, I got the monkey off my back now. Like, I feel better. I apologize publicly. Like, we had a great conversation. Like, I feel good now.
You feel good? You feel good? Well, going back earlier to the show to you, no.
You still owe me an apology. Like, everyone agrees. Even my high yellow Band-Aid agrees. Or neon yellow, whatever it's called. I said high yellow, like it was a person.
You're pulling in inanimate objects at this point?
Yeah. At this point, I got to pull in everything I can, Lee. You owe me an apology.
No, I don't.
Brittany's running away with it, man. You got to think. Look at the top 10 right now. The fact that Antron Brown is not in the top 10. What?
What? Yes.
What? Let's go back in the yearbooks of racing. It's weird. It's not ethical. It's unbelievable. What are we possibly seeing right now that we haven't seen before? But
it was, I don't think people realize it was a big matchup, actually, round 1 between Doug Foley and Sean Langdon. And it really could have changed the outlook of the top 10 right there, swinging people in and out.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Sean picks up the win there. Antron goes out first round. Doug Foley had a shaft in the supercharger just snap. That's why the car didn't move anywhere. And we're looking at a situation where Sean Langdon sits in 10th with 336 points. Antron Brown, 11th, 343 points out. Leah Pruitt, 13th at 363 points.
And that's Lee, there's another thing that I want to talk about. And I said it earlier in this season, in the off season. There was going to be some growing pains there. Did I think it was going to be like this? No. But like you said, this can swing any different way come the next race and come the next 3 races. Who knows? I mean, this time in 3 weeks from now, we can be saying Leah Pruitt just won 3 races. What?
And I definitely think that could be the case because, she was her usual kind of animated, she does this all the time. I love it. She does this all the time in top end interviews. I love it. She can count on Leah doing that. And you see her say, hey, if we just get everything together, we're going to be lethal. And I think that they've shown that. I think that will be the case later on this year. And we'll have to look out for that Tony Stewart Racing top fueler. But it's not quite there yet. They are testing. They tested again Monday. And to Antron, a point on him, he was testing there. He made 1 hit. He had a crew member, Matt Sackman, was in the car a couple of laps. And a man that he could be as negative as anyone in the world right now about where he is performance and just let that being shown, on a Monday. But the man's upbeat, having a good time, positive, and knows that like he's the master of his own destiny, and they're going to get that turned around eventually, and we're going to see Antron duking it out at the top as well.
No, and I think what they're doing there is, getting some different body weight in there, getting a different driving style with having Matt get behind the wheel. And, and Matt's a driver himself. If you don't know who Matt is and what, his family has accomplished there in, in North Carolina, his brother went to the finals. I mean, it's different things that, you have to understand and know. But they're trying, and that's the key thing at this point. You got to try these new things now, so that once it comes, up to the countdown and everything like that, that that you've tried everything to get to this point. So, I mean, I'm not. You can't count Antron and the Matco boys out, just like you can't count the Capco boys out. I mean, that whole Toyota racing dynamic, don't count them out. They're all figuring it out, and when it comes, you're gonna be like, oh boy, what have we done here?
And again, you mentioned Steve. We talked about it a little earlier. Some folks would be saying, "Oh, they're struggling," and they admitted in their world that they're struggling. Yeah, making final rounds is struggling for them. He's second in points, Sam. He's only 81 points back. It's not even a whole event.
Lee, it doesn't matter if he's second in points. Come on. It only matters about winners and losers, and he hasn't won yet. Come on, man. Don't you know that? 4 wide sucks. Winners, losers. If you ain't first, then you're last. Come on.
Checkers are records, baby.
That's what I'm talking about. See, you know.
I don't know what to do about
it. You know that.
What I do
you know that mentality. Exactly. You know that mentality. Like, come on, man. If you ain't first, you're last. If you ain't winning, then you're losing. And it doesn't matter if you're second in points or third in points. You ain't first.
Yes. Hey.
That's my grammar there.
Can we talk about how on point the Smithfield livery and the Mobile One livery with Tony Stewart Racing looked? And the black fire suit was on just it was a good looking fire suit. It looked good.
Look, if we could give an appearance award every weekend, I know some of the media people had fun this weekend with everyone getting awards here this weekend. I thought so. Shout outs to Jason Logan. Shout outs to Courtney Enders and to Joe Costello for that. I think that was hilarious. I mean, everyone was getting awards here this weekend. I really thoroughly enjoyed that. But man, they have a whole team over at TSR that is wrapping these, and you can go and watch it on their on their Instagram and on their Facebook. I mean, the attention to detail on these cars, that comes from the top. When you think of what Tony's done and his career and his wraps and decals and livery on these cars, like, he's bringing a different dynamic to drag racing. I mean, he has a full detailed crew that's what their job is to do, is to wrap these TSR cars. So,
also a win for the sport, a new addition in marketing partners such as Smithfield, who has been already within motorsports in the NASCAR world, and a top-level individual was there at the track and was able to experience NHRA drag racing going all the way to the final round with Matt Hagan. And we haven't said it really, but man, that was another great final round between Robert Height and Matt Hagan. And again, Steve Johnson, Matt Smith, great final round. Great final round with Brittany Force and Steve Torrance. Great final round. Again, Ricky Smith, Tyler Miller. Look, it was good up there in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Successful. I mean, that's all you got to say right there. I'm going to say this, Lee. You know, you spoke on it here. Great racing across the board. Great final rounds across the board. What more, as drag racing fans, do we want? What more? I mean, you're seeing Pedal Fest. You're seeing the rivalries. You're seeing the records getting breaking down and you know, new records getting, like, we're doing all this, and we're still bringing in more sponsorships. We're bringing in new marketing partners. The only thing we need now is for Buddy Hall and Matt Hagan to have an arm wrestle and get some more, like C4 energy, the powder pump. Where are you at? Like, I'm calling these guys out, these guys and these girls. Muscle Milk's already in the sport, but like, where are all these weightlifting companies when you have a guy like Matt Hagan and Buddy Hall in our sport? What do we like? What more can we want? Like, I'm sick of seeing it.
I really think we are experiencing a turn into positivity and maybe another modern golden age in NHRA Camping World Drag Racing. I think there's a lot to be positive about. And that's just NHRA Camping World Drag Racing. You expand it into the rest of the world of drag racing. Look, we've got to get through the parts issues and the supply issues, but even with all of that and COVID, man, it's moved forward. The meter has moved forward.
Lee, like I said, I'm in the market right now. I've got a couple of these. I've got a couple of rods. I mean, we can make deals. I mean, I'm here, businessman, business money, making a business deal.
Yeah,
So
we're going to see signs out at the NHRA pits before long. Do not ask for parts. Everybody going around asking for parts. We can't give none of them away. We got to hang on to them.
Yeah, I mean, but Lee, that's what it's all about. That's the sport that we love, and that's what we're seeing from these competitors is that they love it. And everyone that you talk to, and when you go into their pits, there's no one that's like, oh man, I'm just out here just to be out here. I'm just doing, I'm just Ricky Smith voice. I'm just doing what I'm here to do. You know what I'm saying? But no, man, everyone is excited. Drag racing is making its comeback. It's had its comeback, and we are in the prime right now of NHRA drag racing, Camping World, to the mountain motor guys for coming out and putting on a show, to the pro mod guys and girls out putting on a show. Thank you to the Franklin family. Tyler Cross, thank you for what you did at VMP. We appreciate it. We are thankful for it. And that's why we get to have the best show on Tuesday night, where you can believe what you read. You can hear two guys with beards yak it up about drag racing. And that's what makes this a damn good show.
I agree, man. I agree. Well, look, I have got to literally get on the road for Odessa, Texas, Pinwheel Nights Raceway, funny car, chaos. That's where I am heading. They are going to be out there this weekend, Friday, Saturday night, Pinwheel Nights Raceway, Dragway. Look, if you're in West Texas, that's the place to be. And then I got to call Buddy Hole, but I plan on being down in Marble Falls, Texas. I'm going to catch my first ever drag boat race with him, Kevin Kinsley, down there in Marble Falls, Texas. I'm looking forward to it, man. I know we talk about the stuff on the asphalt, but drag racing, I can't wait to see some rooster tails in person.
Hydroplane.
Yes.
But yeah, Lee, if Ma Nature would ever cooperate here in the good north of North Dakota, where I am in the BFE, we might go circle track racing. Who knows? I mean, if we can get it figured out, but it's weird. It's nice and hot during the week, but Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it wants to rain. So Ma Nature doesn't like us. But other than that, Lee, keep producing content, keep coming out. Outlaw Performance ENT, where you can find all my stuff, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And if you want to follow my personal Facebook page, Slam and Sam, I post here and there about different things that I'm doing. But we're hoping to catch some circle track racing, some drag racing, whatever we can get to you guys. So that's going to be fun. And you guys stay tuned to Questions of the Day from NHRA. New series that I've been working on and what we are doing. Posted one on the Instagram page a couple of days ago with the Davis Motorsports team, and it was pretty interesting to hear the answers from some of them. But Lee, man, it's been fun. It's been almost, we're getting close to 2 hours, but I'm not able to go 200 and plus mile an hour on two wheels, and I'm still nervous, man. I'm still shaking in my boots because we had Spiderman on the show.
We had a man. We had a man on the show. That is for sure. Larry, thank you for your time. Brittany, thank you for your time making the first appearance on the Competition Plus Power Hour. And we definitely, out of both of them, expect that it won't be the last time, because I think we're going to be talking to Larry again about 275. Wow, dude.
Yeah, and I'm going to let you know right now, I don't think Grubby and Brittany are done terrorizing the rest of the field. So I for sure think we will be talking about them. But Lee,
I can't wait until Maple Grove with that car and the way that it's running. If the conditions are right, and usually at Maple Grove they are, she might do it again.
Hey, you never know. But Lee, as we had Bobby Boucher on the show here today, I mean, hey, geez. Bobby Bennett, not Bobby Boucher. Bobby Bennett. Okay. But I'm going to drink some high-quality H2O, man. It's been a fun Tuesday night with you. Yes. I'm going to try and run so I can catch some grub before all the local stores close, as we talked about earlier on the show. Lee, man, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. It's the Competition Plus Power Hour. You close us out, buddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Make sure as you go out, hit the like button and hit the share button and invite a friend to come right here on Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Competition Plus Power Hour, which you can watch on the Competition Plus Twitter feed, YouTube channel, and Facebook page. Thank you to our guests. Thank you to Bobby Bennett. Thank you to you, the fan. We are done.